Now at 10, a new bill would limit the power of our state's attorney general. This comes after Sean Reyes' leave of absence to assist the Trump administration's legal battles over election results. What this bill would limit coming up. Plus, COVID-19 continues to ravage parts of the U.S. What experts are saying about it, and vaccination timelines just ahead.
Live from Utah's first TV station, ABC4 News at 10 starts now.
And good evening. It's great to have you with us on this Saturday night. I'm Nick McGurk. Well, we're following some new information just into our newsroom tonight. We know that Sundance Resort confirms a 21-year-old man skiing at that resort caused an avalanche about 1:30 this afternoon. We're told that skier went out of bounds, causing the avalanche, burying this man up to his neck. Luckily, he was eventually freed, taken to a local hospital. We're told that was as a precaution, so he does appear unhurt. The incident did, however, cause the resort to shut down. A lot of folks talking about that in the ski world. Happening now, officials in northern Utah warning folks to be vigilant and stay aware as avalanche danger. It's increasing in parts of the mountains. Officials with the Utah Avalanche Center have an avalanche warning in effect for portions of the northern mountain ranges where they say both human and natural avalanches are likely. Meteorologist Adam Carroll joining us now. Human-triggered and weather events, I mean, it has been snowing out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the mountains that did exceptionally well here in just over 24 hours time, but we do have an avalanche warning in effect through 6 a.m. tomorrow. This could be extended here by the Utah Avalanche Center, but you can see where it lies in that blue shaded area here. Like I said, through 6 a.m. tomorrow, the high avalanche danger for the majority of our northern Utah mountains, and it's going to be considerable here for places like the Skyline area, the Wasatch Plateau. Live look from Sundance where that avalanche occurred. You can see the lights here below, but you know, luckily that avalanche, we had no fatalities in that one, but Alta saw they needed the snorkel today. They had a lot of snow, 19 inches here at Alta, but 22 at Brighton, 12 inches Suncrest, Summit Park 10, Eden 6.5, Jensen 6.1 in the Uinta Basin, 6 inches West Point, Hooper 5.7, 5.5 in Syracuse, even Alpine saw over 5, Laketown saw 5. The West Weber County area was the bullseye zone, and Clinton was another area that saw 5 inches. They're enjoying all the new snow that they saw. Alana Brophy took those beautiful shots here of Clinton. And we have a little bit of snow shower still out there right now on Storm Tracker radar, but we also have another weather maker on the way here as we have kind of a breather out there here tomorrow before this one arrives, where the impacts are. Plus, we're also talking about who saw some rain today, all coming up in the full forecast.
Okay, Adam, a lot going on. Thank you very much. Attorney General Sean Reyes certainly made headlines this election cycle. He threw his support behind the lawsuit. This was very public, challenging election results in another state, not Utah. Now, one of our state lawmakers wants to keep him from making that kind of move again. ABC4's Sarah Martin is joining us now with more on the story.
When Attorney General Reyes joined those election lawsuits back in December, he didn't have to ask anybody here in Utah. But now this new bill would require an attorney general to stop and get permission from the governor before joining any legal action outside of our state. Back in December, Attorney General Reyes filed what's called an amicus brief, essentially an opinion in writing meant to encourage the court to see a case in one way or another. He wanted the Supreme Court to weigh in on election results in other states, not in Utah. Both the governor and governor-elect at the time clearly stated they did not support A.G. Reyes' involvement. Now, Representative Brian King wants to keep this from happening in the future.
And he's got to demonstrate the extent to which the involvement in the lawsuit is protecting legitimate state interests under our statutes, under our regulations, under legislative resolution.
HB 232 is still a ways from becoming law. It needs a Senate sponsor and a committee assignment before legislators vote on it. We've reached out to the Attorney General's office and to the governor's office on this story. We have not heard back. Reporting from the newsroom, back to you.
Okay, Sarah, thanks so much. As the pandemic continues to put a dent in restaurant and bar sales, Senator Derek Kitchen is preparing an amendment proposal. It would allow beer, wine, alcohol, well, to go. You could get it to go. The current law does not allow liquor to be delivered via food delivery services for takeout. And again, his argument here is that a lot of these businesses depend on alcohol sales. There would be a number of conditions here. And if you want to learn more about this amendment, head over to our website, abc4.com. We have a live look tonight from our nation's capital. The Senate is, well, they're preparing for former President Trump's second impeachment trial. The New York Times is reporting that Trump is being accused of discussing plans with Justice Department officials to overturn the election. This is while he was still in office. Here's ABC's Andrew Dimbert now with details.
The date of former President Trump's second impeachment trial is now set to begin the week of February 8th, more than a month after the violent attack on Capitol Hill.
We have to address that and make sure it never happens again.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi will send over the article of impeachment on Monday. According to the Constitution, the Senate trial will begin at 1 p.m. the next day. Senators will still be sworn in as jurors on Tuesday, but both sides will then have 2 weeks to prepare.
During that period, the Senate will continue to do other business for the American people, such as cabinet nominations and the COVID relief bill, which would provide relief for millions of Americans who are suffering during this pandemic.
And now Trump is reportedly being accused of discussing plans with Justice Department officials to overturn the election while he was still in office. In a stunning report by the New York Times, citing unnamed sources, Trump allegedly discussed removing Acting Attorney General Jeffrey Rosen in order to execute a plan to pressure Georgia officials to flip the state's presidential election results. The man who reportedly worked on the plan, lawyer Jeffrey Clark, the Times reporting Trump allegedly mulled over whether to fire the acting AG and replace him with Clark because Rosen refused Trump's request to carry out the alleged scheme. According to the Times, Trump decided against firing Rosen only after top Justice Department officials threatened mass resignations. Clark telling the Times their report contained inaccuracies and that all of his official communications were consistent with the law. Trump declined to comment, according to the report. The latest report could have an impact on the former president's upcoming impeachment trial. Both Rosen and Clark could be called as witnesses. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, Washington, D.C.
And new tonight, a driver is lucky to be alive after their car involved in a rollover crash. This happened on northbound I-15 near Garland. Police tell us the driver was able to get out of the car themselves, thankfully to walk away without injury. Those are really horrible situations. And in Summit County, officers responding to a rollover crash along I-80 this morning, you can see there. It happened near mile marker 187 around 9:30 in the morning. Police say the crash was likely due to the weather conditions at the time, a lot of snow. Luckily, again, nobody was hurt. Well, this comes as Utah Highway Patrol is sharing some shocking video. This is something that's happened in the past where you see that trooper hit. Thankfully, they survived. But the video here is to make a point. You need to take precautions before you go out on the roads tonight, tomorrow, and throughout this winter. The video is obviously of concern, and as we said, that troopers survived. But here are the situations that police say and troopers say can be avoided. Here's what you need to do. Wear your seatbelt. Slow down. Move minor crashes if you're involved in one off the freeway. Move over for troopers and emergency vehicles. And folks, these are common sense, right? But they're reminding you of these for a reason because they don't happen sometimes. You want to increase your following distance in the snow and do not use cruise control. Troopers also want to remind folks, don't get overconfident, especially on slick roads. Well, there was a wild situation in Sandy this morning. Police there say that started with a stolen car, led to a high-speed chase, then shots fired, and finally a manhunt with at least one more shot fired. When we say morning, this is 1 a.m. today, and that police responding to a stolen car. They say the owner of that car then decided to go after the two suspects. Soon this turned into a high-speed chase along the freeway. Now, police saw this chase, they began following, and then they heard gunfire. The two suspects in the stolen car, according to police, began firing at the other car. The vehicle's then exiting I-215 at Redwood Road. Now, by this point, police had followed them to Bonnie Brook Drive near 2200 West. Officers started to approach them. The suspects jumped out of their vehicle. An officer reported a shot fired from those suspects. What an ordeal. After SWAT was called in, two suspects were located inside a home, but police say there is one more suspect still at large at this hour. New at 10, authorities are investigating a fire after a suspicious fire igniting this afternoon. This is in Salt Lake. This happened near 360 South, 400 West. This was around 1 p.m. this afternoon. When fire crews arrived, flames had been contained by sprinklers and damage was confined to just 2 of these units. Nobody was hurt, but we're told a suspect was allegedly taken into custody. The nature and cause of this fire still under investigation tonight. Now, more than 417,000 American lives have been lost to COVID-19 since this first case was reported right here in the United States. We reported this week. It was 1 week ago, 1 year ago to the week, in fact. Efforts to get Americans vaccinated are sputtering. Many states running out of supplies of both the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines. But there could soon be a third vaccine available, and here we want to tell you about it. Here's ABC's Ty Hernandez with details.
January is on track to be the deadliest month of the coronavirus pandemic so far. On average this week, one American death from COVID-19 was reported every 30 seconds. Florida reporting a record-tying 277 deaths Friday, along with 14,000 new cases. And now new concerns about the UK variant, with some British officials warning it could be up to 30% more deadly. Scientists are stressing more research is needed on whether the variant is deadlier.
Even if the virus ended up not being any more deadly, the fact that it is more contagious means it's going to end up infecting a lot more people. It's going to cause more hospitalizations and a lot more deaths.
Meanwhile, the push to get people vaccinated is growing more urgent. Over the past 2 days, a record 3 million vaccines have been administered. But across the country, many states are struggling to meet demand.
The supply should be steadily increasing. And what I'm concerned about in particular is making sure that we have enough distribution channels set up. Because if we don't set those up, then we'll be in a place in perhaps a month or so where we're sitting on too much supply at a time when many people want to get the vaccine but can't.
University Medical Center in El Paso, Texas received 5,000 more doses of Moderna's vaccine. Appointments for those shots were booked within 5 minutes of being posted online. California opened the nation's largest mass vaccine site at Dodger Stadium, but still the state ranks near the bottom of the list in percent of available shots administered. New York canceling thousands of appointments after running out of vaccines, the next shipment not coming until next week.
We need more vaccine, and we need it now.
A third vaccine option could soon be available. Johnson & Johnson's one-shot vaccine may be ready for emergency use authorization in 2 weeks. Ty Hernandez, ABC News, New York.
Closer to home, we have some encouraging news tonight about our pandemic. And here's what it is. Case totals and hospitalizations continue to tick downward. This is the Utah Department of Health does announce 1,771 new cases of COVID since yesterday. This means nearly 335,000 people have gotten sick with this virus since the pandemic began. 481 people are currently hospitalized with COVID-19. Now, since yesterday, more than 15,000 Utahns have been vaccinated, so 15,000 in a day. Our state total now of vaccinations, 222,275 fellow Utahns. Meantime, deaths continue to rise across the Beehive State. The State Department of Health announcing 11 new deaths. 2 of them were told happened prior to December 31st, but here are the totals they've released today. 8 deaths were men, 3 women. Our total case count now, 1,582 since the pandemic began. Well, a man is dead after dying on a ski lift today at Park City Mountain. We're learning more. We'll tell you what we just learned in the last half an hour coming up.
Plus, looking outside, we've got low clouds, we've got a bit of fog out there as well, and even some snow showers still lingering about. A little breather tomorrow before another storm's on the way in Utah's most accurate forecast.
Welcome back. A man is dead after becoming unconscious today. It's on a ski lift at Park City Mountain. We're learning more about this tonight. The man was visiting from Costa Mesa, California, when police say he lost consciousness on one of the ski lifts. He was removed from that lift. Life-saving measures were performed, but were ultimately unsuccessful. That man, we're told, was 78 years old. How about this? A rescue to tell you about out of Iron County. A 77-year-old man, well, he was stuck with a dead battery after driving off a main road near the Pinto Springs area, and this could have been, well, frankly, deadly. Temperatures were freezing. He hadn't checked into his hotel. He'd recently had knee surgery. Family members worried when they didn't see him, didn't hear from him. He didn't check into his hotel. They called 911, and then, yeah, thanks to some aerial help, they were able to spot him. And he told crews if he had been there one more night, he would not have survived.
Time now for Utah's most accurate forecast with Adam Carroll, Weather Rate certified 9 years in a row.
Adam, it's the kind of time of this winter where you're like, okay, I'm ready for winter to be over, and winter's like, no, we're just getting started.
Well, I mean,
what it feels like.
Yeah, I mean, we're halfway through meteorological winter, which lasts through the end of February, but you know, going into today, we had 7.7 inches of snow in Salt Lake. We saw 0.4 inches fall at the airport, so we're at 8.1. Still incredibly low for this time of year. I know a lot of people are actually still wanting snow, but then there's still that, you know, few that are wanting summer already. But you know, one thing that we did get today was rain. Look at this, almost 3/4 of an inch in Riverdale, near that Springville, 0.69 in Enterprise, even Harriman saw 0.61, Orem saw over a half an inch, Tremont near that, Milford, even southern Utah got in on the act. This was a widespread event, both in the rain and snow department. It was so needed with our exceptional drought, and we've got more on the way. But satellite shows this area of low pressure moving off to the north here. We're starting to wind things down. We are seeing a little bit of precipitation, though, developing here into southwestern Utah. A little disturbance kind of moving to our south. But it's this culprit here that's going to come down the Pacific coast and actually move right into central and southern Utah by Monday and Tuesday. And it's a cold system, folks. We still have some snow showers around here in northern Utah, but there's the snow showers and rain showers here around southwestern Utah. We'll have some of that overnight tonight, but it will be light in nature. Futurecast, though, is wild because as this system moves away, we'll have that little disturbance bring in some rain and snow showers to southeastern Utah tomorrow. Not much is in the way of accumulations except in the high country. But after that moves away here late tomorrow, here comes that area of low pressure into southwestern Utah, and then eventually it expands northward here. And central and southern Utah it's going to be the bullseye zone for this storm. But some of it will sneak into northern Utah, sure, and that will happen here early Tuesday morning. But this is a cold system. We're talking accumulating snowfall for St. George with this system as well. And then we'll get into some windy conditions on Wednesday. But here's what we can expect in terms of futurecast snowfall. You know, maybe 9-10 inches for the ski resorts around southern Utah. 2 inches maybe by the time we get to Tuesday at 10 p.m. for St. George. Then we're heading northward into central Utah. Even northern Utah, our models show a few inches out there in our mountains of northern Utah as well. We will see, obviously we're a few days away, but it gives you an idea. We have a nice little storm on the way, and this is adding on to the moisture that we already saw today, which is absolutely fantastic. But only 43 Monday, and then only 39 on Tuesday with the snow out there. Then we'll warm back up in St. George here, maybe some showers on Saturday. For the Wasatch Front, will be 35, 37, which is a little bit normal, near normal, or slightly below. We'll go back to colder on Tuesday with some snow showers. Windy on Wednesday, 40, even warmer Thursday, Friday. Though we will have maybe some snow showers Wednesday into Thursday morning. Break Friday, more rain still chances Saturday. Hey, this is a nice little pattern we have going on here, especially that snow in southern Utah.
Okay, thanks, Adam. Winter is usually the time many of us think about the aurora being visible above in the northern skies. You can check out the pictures here, captured by the International Space Station this week. If you can see the northern lights, also known as the aurora borealis, shimmering above portions of Earth with cities and town lights sprinkled below, while the phenomenon's glowing green aura. So pretty cool stuff. All right, also cool, Wesley Ruff, always cool under pressure. Always got good sports stuff to talk about.
A lot of good stuff today. Yeah. The Red Rocks have their first conference meet. Tony Finau is tied for first. And the Utah Jazz trying to become the first NBA team with an 8-game winning streak this year. We'll show you if they did it when we come back with sports.
Time now for ABC 4 News Sports with Wesley Ruff.
Shaquille O'Neal ticked off Jazz fans the other night when he said Donovan Mitchell is not a superstar. Maybe he isn't, but he's still pretty good. And so are the Utah Jazz. Mitchell and his teammates taking on the Golden State Warriors tonight, looking for their 8th straight victory. And the Jazz got off to a red-hot start, especially from beyond the arc. Royce O'Neal hit his first 3 shots, all 3-pointers. Then Mike Conley, he had 17 tonight. Donovan Mitchell getting in on the act, knocks down the 3-ball here. Jazz were just killing it. And they had a lot of points in the paint as well. Clarkson to Rudy Gobert. Oh, yeah. Then Mitchell with the drive, some sweet moves. He finishes with the bucket. And then it's Bogey, the feed to Gobert, and watch this finish. Oh, my goodness. End of the first half, Mitchell with a deep 3-pointer. It's good. Utah led by 30 at the half. Mitchell finished with 23. The onslaught continued in the third quarter. Bogdanovich for 3. The Jazz win this one easily, 127-108. That's 8 straight wins, but they're not satisfied.
There'll be things that we know we didn't do as well, or things we can do better 10 out of 10 times instead of 9 out of 10 or whatever it is.
It's okay to feel good about how you're playing, but, you know, there's a long season ahead. It's a marathon, and there's games where it clicks like it did tonight, and there's other games you have to grind, and I just want us to stay steady, not too high, not too low.
In college hoops, BYU Cougars back on the home court taking on the Pepperdine Waves in WCC play. Cougars were behind, but then Nell hit the 3-ball from the corner. BYU takes the lead for good. Brandon Averett, look at this move. The left-handed shot off the glass. Later, a similar move. Averett scores again. And then the Cougars go inside. Lee with the bucket. He had 10 tonight. Cougars up by double digits, but watch this play. Barcelo on the floor. He's going to take an elbow to the face right there. Oh, my goodness, that was just nasty. Barcelo catches the elbow right in the grill, instantly grabs his mouth, and his smile looked different because he lost a tooth on that one. Yikes. BYU able to stay in front in the half. Averett again. They were up 11 at the break. Second half, Pepperdine cut the lead to 3, but then Matt Harms comes up with a great shot with about a minute to go. Cougars end up winning this one by 11, 65-54. Weber State beat Southern Utah in Ogden on Thursday, and today down in Cedar City, the rematch was a little different. T-Birds worked the pick and roll to perfection. Fawcett with the easy bucket. Second half, Brown with the serious crossover for Weber State and the scoop off the glass. The T-Birds stayed in front, though. Jones with the 3-pointer knocks it down. But with just under 90 seconds remaining, Weber State takes the lead, 72-71 on this bucket by Brown. But less than a minute to go. SUU comes up with the steal and the layup by McIntyre. They go on to win it by 5, 77-72. T-Birds move to 11-3 on the year. 5 days ago, the Utah gymnastics team didn't know if it would have any more meets this year. But the Pac-12 finally released the gymnastics schedule, and today the Red Rocks had their first conference meet. 6th-ranked Utes at home taking on Arizona. No fans in the stands. That is unusual for the Utah gymnastics team. Utah starting on the vault. That was Cammie Hall. That was a 9.9. Onto the bars. Miley O'Keefe with the clean transition between the bars. And then the dismount. A couple of giants, and she sticks it for a 9.9. Crystal Iza had a nice tumbling pass on the beam here. And then her dismount. It's a good one. She scored a 9.875. Utah in complete control. Sydney Solosky saving the best for last. Fantastic routine on the floor with a 9.925. And the Red Rocks beat Arizona by a final score of 197.075 to 195.650. And the third round of the American Express in La Quinta, California. Tony Finau looking for a second win on the tour. Started the day 1 shot out of the lead. Great approach shot here. That's going to set up a birdie for Tony. Then out of the bunker. How about this shot by Finau? Sets up another birdie. He had 4 birdies on the front 9. And then on the back 9 had this birdie putt, which he drains. That got him to 14 under par. He was tied for the lead. He found the water and double bogeyed number 13, but he bounced back with 3 straight birdies. And so after 3 rounds, he is now 15 under par. And Tony Finau is tied for the lead with 1 round to go. Mike Weir, by the way, finished tied for 7th in Hawaii on the Champions Tour. So good weekend for local golfers.
Do they call him Weirzy, or is that just a name I had in my head?
That's what the Canadians call him.
Yeah, well, good for Mike. He lives in Utah, and he's a Masters champ, and Wes knows him. There you go. Thanks, Wes. We'll be right back after the break. Welcome back. Well, the Hogle Zoo folks, they are losing hope. But don't worry, you'll still find a polar bear at the Utah Zoo, and we're going to tell you about it here. Here's the deal. The zoo is going to share their 5-year-old polar bear, Hope, for a breeding program. So Hope's headed to the Midwest. Polar bears are a critically endangered species, so Hope is leaving to the Midwest, but another big old polar bear will be taking Hope's place while she's gone. And that polar bear, look at this guy, Nikita, some 1,300 pounds. He's he's twice the size of Hope. You know, in fact, they do call him Nick, Adam. He's a goofball. He likes peanut butter jelly sandwiches, and he's probably my spirit animal, if I'm being honest. What do you think, Adam?
Well, it pretty much sums you up right there. I mean, I've seen you eat a good PB&J sandwich.
Who doesn't love a good PB&J sandwich, a glass of milk, and a romp through the polar bear forest? I don't know.
That's right. I'm sure Wes has eaten a few PB&Js in his day,
Maybe.
too.
I'm not saying anything.
Are we talking about the weather?
That's right. Well, and I will say something about our weather, because we'll see mostly cloudy skies here across northern Utah. We'll be a little bit below normal for our temperatures. A little bit more sunshine in St. George. Call it kind of a calm before the storm event in St. George, because you've got snow on the way.
Snow in St. George. That's wild. Okay, sir. We appreciate you. We appreciate Wes. All of you for watching tonight. Of course, you can check us out on abc4.com. We'll see you tomorrow at 5.